Now we go into some we would call ecology type concepts. And the first thing is, what is ecology? So, and it's a branch of environmental science where the focus is on living organisms and their relationship with the environment. So the key point here is living organisms, because you could say I'm studying the how mercury moves through the soil or water system, and that's a part of environmental science, but it has not. But you may not be focusing on the living organisms. You just may be focusing on its non-living aspects of how mercury moves through the environment. So it's ecology is environmental science that focuses on living organisms, and again, an organism is a living thing, So living organism is a living thing, like a lizard, a tree, people. And the next thing is, what is a biosphere? And throughout these slides, any of the topics or any of the concepts or terms that you needed to define as part of getting the merit badge, I have kind of highlighted in yellow, saying, okay, this is something that you are going to have to define. So a biosphere is all the areas of the Earth, land, which is the lithosphere, air, the atmosphere, and sea, the hydrosphere, that can support life. So here I've shown some desert island or some island beach, and then some forest and some deserts like we would see around Nevada, can all be areas that can support life in different forms and in different environments. And again, here are some things that we need to know. So, what is a species? A species is a group of organisms that can breed to produce offspring. So cows can't breed with horses, and so they're different species. What is a population? So all the individual species that live in an environment. So what is the population of lizards that live in Reno? Okay, so the lizards is the species, some particular lizard, you could actually say, that live in a certain area. And then a community is all the different populations that interact with one another in a given area. So you could, and if you went down near the Truckee River, you might find dragonflies and frogs and some fish in the river and things like that. They're all different populations of different species that live in a certain area. And then it says, okay, what is an ecosystem? The community plus the non-living factors in a given area. And so again, the non-living factors was like the climate and the soil, and let's see. And so it says here, an environment may have several different ecosystems. Depends on how big you define that environment. Okay, the next one is, what is a niche? The role the organism plays in its community. Okay, so what does that organism do? What does it eat? How does it interact within its environment? What is a habitat? That's the place that an organism lives. Okay, so we know that a frog will be in a pond, a fish will be in the river or a lake. What is symbiosis? Okay, so it's defined as the interaction of two different species living in close proximity. And so there are different types of symbiosis. And so I've shown here one is mutualistic, and that's the type of symbiosis which both species benefit from the interaction. So here I've drawn, a clownfish and an anemone, where the clownfish is getting protection while at the same time the anemone is getting cleaned. And so they're both kind of benefiting from each other. And then there's another one called commensalistic, where one species benefits while the other, it doesn't harm or has no benefit to the other species. So an example of that would be like the bacteria in your digestive tract. They could live in a lot of different areas, but they kind of move to your digestive tract and they have a benefit to you. They help break down your food and produce vitamins. And number three is a parasitic type of interaction where one species benefits while the other species is harmed. And entomologist E.O. Wilson defined it sort of as predators that eat prey in less than one unit. And so examples of this would be like a tick, for humans at least, a tick, or some mammals or lice or something like that, you know. They're living off you and doing you harm, but they're not eating all of you.